भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 23, Mahārāja Pṛthu's going back home. Text 31. Ya idaṁ su-mahat puṇyam śraddhayāvahitaḥ śraddhayāvahitaḥ paṭhet śrāvayec chṛṇuyād vāpi sa pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt idaṁ su-mahat puṇyam śraddhayāvahitaḥ paṭhet śrāvayec śrṛṇuyād vāpi śrāvayet śrṛṇuyād vāpi sa pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt idaṁ su-mahat puṇyam śraddhayāvahitaḥ paṭhet śrāvayet śrṛṇuyād vāpi sa pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt
idaṁ su-mahat puṇyam śraddhayāvahitaḥ paṭhet śrāvayec śrṇuyāt vāpi pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt.
Ya idaṁ su-mahat puṇyam. śraddhayāvahitaḥ paṭhet. śrāvayec chṛṇuyād vāpi. sa pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt. Ya idaṁ su-mahat puṇye. śraddhayāvahitaḥ paṭhet. śrāvayec vāpi. sa pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt. Ya idaṁ su-mahat puṇyam. śraddhayāvahitaḥ. śrāvayec chṛṇuyād vāpi. sa pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt. Ya idaṁ su-mahat puṇyam. śraddhayāvahitaḥ paṭhet. śrāvayet chṛṇuyād vāpi. sa pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt. Ya idaṁ su-mahat puṇyam. śraddhayāvahitaḥ paṭham. śrāvayec chṛṇuyād vāpi. sa pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt.
Yaha, anyone, idam, this, su-mahat, very great, puṇyam, pious, śraddhayā, with great faith, avahitaḥ, with great attention, paṭhet, reads, śrāvayet, explains, śrṇuyāt, hears, or vāpi, certainly, sah, that person, pṛthoḥ, of King Pṛthu, padavīm, situation, iyāt, attains. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Any person who describes the great characteristics of King Pṛthu with faith and determination, whether he reads or hears of them himself, or helps others to hear of them, is certain to attain the very planet which Mahārāja Pṛthu attained. In other words, such a person also returns home to the Vaikuṇṭha planets, back to Godhead. Please repeat after me. Any person who describes the great characteristics of King Pṛthu with faith and determination, whether he reads or hears of them himself, or helps others to hear of them, is certain to attain the very planet which Mahārāja Pṛthu attained. In other words, such a person also returns home to the Vaikuṇṭha planets, back to Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the execution of devotional service, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu is especially stressed. This means that bhakti or devotional service begins by hearing and chanting about Vishnu. When we speak of Vishnu, we also refer to that which relates to Vishnu. In the Shiva Purana, Lord Shiva recommends Vishnu worship to be the topmost worship, and better than Vishnu worship is worship of the Vaishnavas or anything that is related to Vishnu. The fact is explained herein that hearing and chanting about a Vaishnava is as good as hearing and chanting about Vishnu. For Maitreya has explained that anyone who hears about Pṛthu Maharaj with attention also attains the planet which Mahārāja Pṛthu attained. There is no duality between Vishnu and the Vaishnava, and this is called Advaya Gyan. A Vaishnava is as important as Vishnu, and therefore Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote in his great Ashtakam, in his Gurvashtakam, Shakshad Harittena Samasta Shastrair Uktas Tatha Bhavata Eva Sadbhi Kintu Prabhorja Priya Eva Tasya Bande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. The spiritual master is honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. This is acknowledged in all revealed scriptures and is followed by all authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of Sri Hari. The Supreme Vaishnava is the spiritual master, and he is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said that sometimes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to chant the names of the gopis. Some of the Lord's students tried to advise him to chant the name of Krishna instead. But upon hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very angry with his students. The controversy on this subject reached a point that after this incident, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to take sannyas because he was not taken very seriously in his grihastha ashram. The point is that since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted the names of the gopis, worship of the gopis or the devotees of the Lord is as good as devotional service rendered directly to the Lord. It is also stated by the Lord himself that devotional service to his devotees is better than service offered directly to him. Sometimes the Sahajiya class of devotees are interested only in Krishna's personal pastimes in the exclusion of the activities of the devotees. This type of devotee is not on a very high level. One who sees the devotee and the Lord on the same level has further progressed. Sa idaṁ su-mahat puṇyam śraddhayāvahitaḥ paṭhet śrāvayec śrṇuyād vāpi sa pṛthoḥ padavīm iyāt. Any person who describes the great characteristics of King Pṛthu with faith and determination, whether he reads or hears of them himself or helps others to hear of them, he is certain to attain the very planet which Mahārāja Pṛthu attained. In other words, such a person also returns home to the Vaikuṇṭha planets, back to Godhead. So, Pṛthu Maharaj's character has been, and his character and activities had been described from the 9th to the 23rd chapter of this 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in about 15 chapters, Pṛthu Maharaj's character has been described. Such a great personality that it took 15 chapters to describe his glories. Pṛthu Maharaj appeared in a very amazing way, in a very unusual way. Vena was a very tyrannical king. He was very cruel, and he used to derive pleasure by inflicting pain on others. Even as a child, he was so cruel that while playing with his friends, He used to drown them in the river. Just hold them under water till they died. Such a cruel person. That is when he was a child. So Vena was a very, very cruel and tyrannical person. Therefore, the saintly personalities, the sages, they, although they live in the forest or in the mountain caves or in a remote place, but they are always concerned about the welfare of the population. So when they saw that Vena is acting in such an irresponsible way, although he was a king, that they came to him to give him some good advice. Now, why are you behaving in this way? It's not right to act like that. But Vena was so arrogant that he did not pay any heed to the good advice of the saintly people. So Vena actually insulted them, telling them that they should actually worship him. And he gave the reason that since in the body of the king all the demigods reside, therefore the king should be worshipped. He is a king, therefore all the demigods are in his body. So instead of worshipping the demigods, they should worship him. And in this way, Vena started to display his arrogance. So when the saintly people, they saw that Vena is not going to listen to them, they cursed Vena. And as a result of their curse, Vena died immediately. But then, the kingdom did not have any king. So when there is no ruler, then what happens? The miscreants, they become very, very rampant. Their activity becomes unchecked. Nobody checks them. Because the king, the strict government forces people to abide by the law. How? Because if they break the law, then the king will punish them. Crime is checked by punishment. Many people have a tendency to become criminal, meaning break the law. But when there is a strict ruler who is there to inflict justice, then people become afraid to break the law. You break the law, there will be punishment. In this respect, I remember once I was reading a journalist's descriptions of Afghanistan. He was in Afghanistan and he had a friend who was showing him the country. And then in course of their discussion, he just mentioned, his friend, Afghan friend, told him that the law and order is very, very strict there. That if anybody steals, it's actually Muslim law, that if anybody steals, his right hand will be chopped off. Doesn't matter what he steals. If anybody steals, what is stealing? To take somebody else's property, unlawfully. So if somebody takes somebody else's property without telling him, without his permission, then his hands are chopped off. So this English journalist was very shocked to hear that. He said, for stealing the hands will be chopped off. It's such a cruel law. But then his friend told him that, look, you have been in Afghanistan for so long. Did you ever see any man without a right hand? Did you see anybody whose hand has been chopped off? The point is, when the law is so strict, then no one will dare to break the law. So similarly, in Manu Samhita also had some very strict laws. And the point is that because the law is very strict and order is established, because whenever anybody breaks the law, whenever anybody commits a crime, then there is punishment. But when there is no ruler, who is going to award the punishment? So as a result of that, the rogues and bandits and dacoits became very, very prevalent. And the whole country was in turmoil. So then the saintly people also became concerned what to do. The king died, they cursed the king and killed him without causing him, when he didn't have any child to become the ruler of the kingdom. He didn't have any son. So then they took the right hand of Vena, churned his hand, and as a result of that, one personality came. And that is Pṛthu Maharaj. This way we can see that how powerful these saintly people were. They could give somebody a body in this way. Pṛthu Maharaj this way did not have any father and mother as such. He had a father in a way, but no mother to conceive him. His body appeared just by the arrangement of these saintly personalities. And Pṛthu Maharaj became very, very powerful. He saw the world was in a irregular way. Like because there was no king, so there was no law and order, there was no system of organizing things, so the whole thing was in extreme disorder. The trees and plants were growing and everywhere, and there was no land for cultivation. So Pṛthu Maharaj, seeing that, he started to straighten out the situation of the earth planet. And as a result of that, the demigod who controls the trees and plants became very worried. So he came and he appealed to Pṛthu Maharaj that please don't do that, stop destroying the trees and plants. Trees and plants are also very much needed because there are two types of living entities. The trees and plants and human beings and animals and birds and others. They are known as jangam, sthabar and jangam, moving and non-moving living entities. Some living entities move, some living entities don't move. Trees and plants are the living entities that do not move. And the moving living entities depend upon the non-moving living entities. We are dependent upon the trees and plants. Like we need food. Where does the food come from? From trees and plants. We need water. How does water come? The rain also depends upon the trees. Therefore, when we cut the forest, then there is no rain. In desert, why it doesn't rain? In desert it doesn't rain because the trees are not there to attract the rain. Like people are realizing that because the trees, forests are being destroyed, there is going to be an acute shortage of water because there won't be raindrop. We need oxygen. Where does the oxygen come from? We take oxygen, give out carbon dioxide, and trees take the carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So in this way we can see that our life, the life of the moving and living entities depend upon the non-moving living entities, the trees and plants. And then it was arranged that the daughter of the forest will be offered to Pṛthu Maharaj. What's her name? Pramlocha? Or the Pramlocha is the Apsara. Anyway, I'm forgetting. So, and this is how Pṛthu Maharaj was married. The next chapter will describe Pṛthu Maharaj's dynasty. Orchi. And Orchi was the daughter of?
Left hand and right hand. Wife of Pṛthu Maharaj.
Oh, it came from the... Oh, okay. Oh, Bernard left hand. Oh, okay, right. Yeah. Very good, thank you. So, so then Pṛthu Maharaj wanted to perform a horse sacrifice for the benefit of the world. And when Pṛthu Maharaj was performing horse sacrifice, then Indra became afraid. Oh, I got mixed up actually. Yeah. It was Pracheta's. So Pṛthu Maharaj performed a horse sacrifice and Indra became afraid. Indra becomes afraid when somebody performs horse sacrifice or performs great austerity. Indra thinks that through his horse sacrifice or his great austerity, that person will take over his kingdom of heaven. So Indra causes some sort of disturbance so that the horse sacrifice cannot be performed. So Pṛthu Maharaj performed how many horse sacrifices? 99 horse sacrifices. But when he was about to perform, when he was performing the 100th horse sacrifices, the 100 horse sacrifices actually causes one to become Indra. So Indra became very upset or very afraid. So he stole the horse of Pṛthu Maharaj. And then Pṛthu Maharaj himself didn't go. His son went looking for the horse and he defeated Indra. And he got the horse back. Therefore his name is Vijitasya. So this is how Pṛthu Maharaj was ruling the kingdom. He was an extremely powerful personality. And this is how we can see what a leader should be like. And that is why in the Vedic society, in the Vedic culture, there is nothing called democracy. Democracy is a very, very Kali Yuga phenomena. Only in Kali Yuga there is demon crazy. There will be election. And what is the illiterate population of India? Good part of India is illiterate. Now, on what basis will these illiterate people give their vote? Do they know who to elect? Even in a temple, when the temple president is elected, there's a lot of discussions. But do these people get a chance to discuss and find out who will be the right person? But they'll cast their vote. And on what basis they'll give their vote? Some people will say, you give me the vote, I'll give you so much money. You give me the vote, I will make you a king. If not king, I'll give your son a good job. I will make a palace in your jhopri. And they never do that. They give these promises, but on the false promises, they give their vote. And then also, those who are elected by this vote, they don't have any qualification. They don't have any qualification themselves. Did they get trained up like Pṛthu Maharaj? The kings in the early days, they were trained from their childhood. They were trained to fight. They were trained to understand the law, Manu Samhita. They were trained to find out for what crime, what punishment. They were even trained with psychology. Just by looking at the eyes of the person when he is speaking, they can make out whether he is telling the truth or he is lying. They were such experts, and mainly they were warriors. They were expert in fighting. Because king has to give protection. But where is the qualification, such qualification of a king or a leader of a nation today? All they can do is talk. They're good talkers. And not only good talkers, in most cases they're good bluffers. They can bluff so expertly. They're very expert in one thing. They'll make you believe their lie to be true. And these people are becoming leaders. And what is happening? Sometimes some good leaders come. They do something good for the people. But that's very, very rare. In most cases they cannot. Because they have to think of their vote. They have to, like what is happening today, like these political leaders are seeing that the number of Muslims is increasing in this country. So if they favor the Muslim, then they'll get the support of the Muslim. And as a result of that, they're giving all kinds of support to the Muslims. They don't help anybody when they go to Vrindavan for pilgrimage. But when somebody wants to go to Makkah, then free plane fare, free everything. Even in the airport, they have free arrangement for them. I mean, better arrangement. Better than first class arrangement, first class passengers arrangement. Hajj pilgrims, a separate counter, separate thing. They don't have to wait on a queue. Why they are doing that? Simply to get their vote. And in this way, the whole situation is becoming so chaotic. And we have to be prepared that situation will become even worse. It will become worse. When India got independent, the situation was not so bad. 30-40 years back, the situation was not so bad. But now, it has become much worse. And with time, a time will come, 20 years from now, you will see situation was so much better 20 years ago. Like you'll think of today, and people will say, oh, in 2014 election, the situation was so much better. Because the situation will become so much worse, that this situation will become so much better. This is the condition of the age of Kali. Situation will get worse and worse and worse. Now, is there any hope? Yes, there is only one hope. What is the hope? The hope is Krishna consciousness. At least we see that because we have accepted Krishna consciousness, we know that it's natural. That mobile phone is louder than the micro. Because at least we know that it's natural for the age of Kali. So we have at least two advantages. One is we know that the situation will be like this because this is the age of Kali. In the age of Kali, we cannot expect a situation like Satya Yuga. So we are in Kali Yuga, let us accept the situation in Kali Yuga. That is one thing. And the other benefit is that we know that this material nature is not everything. This material nature is only a temporary situation. We are not here forever. Our real home is somewhere else. So let's go there. When you go to some place for some work, in this respect, like when you go to some place for some work, do you care for the situation there? How the situation is? Like you go to say you have some business to do in Congo, Africa. You go there for 3 days. Do you care for what the situation in Congo like? How the roads are, how things are? You tolerate that, finish your business and then you come back. In this respect, Srila Prabhupada gave another very nice example. He gave the example of the toilet. You go to the toilet for some work, and when you finish your work, you just come out of there. You don't care about it. The toilet is meant to be a dirty place. So why worry about that? Especially Indian toilets. Like in the villages, it used to be like that. They would dig a hole and put a wooden thing on top and just 4 chatais and a gunny bag hanging as the curtain. So you finish your business and then go back to your actual situation. So this knowledge is important and it helps us. That's why we are not interested. Okay, whatever the situation is, let it be. Those who want to mess up the whole world, let them do it. What can be done? At least we don't have any problem. To chant Hare Krishna, do we have any problem? Even in toilet we can chant Hare Krishna. Sometimes a devotee would consider that the toilet is a very nice place to chant. Like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. People used to trouble him so much. He wanted to chant, but people would come to have his darshan, have his advice and ask questions. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj therefore retired into the toilet. And he would sit in the toilet and chant, so that nobody would come to disturb him. So that is how a devotee becomes detached from material situations. And he knows that he has taken shelter of Krishna. Krishna will take care of him. In whichever situation he may be, he will be perfectly situated. But at the same time, when these devotees become the ruler, then the world situation changes, like Pṛthu Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj. When Yudhishthir Maharaj was ruling, the situation was so opulent that the cows would give milk when they are grazing in the field. The cows would graze, generally cows give milk when they are milked. But during Yudhishthir Maharaj's time, the cows were so satisfied that milk would drip from their udder and the pasturing ground used to become wet with the milk of the cows. So many cows and so much milk. So that is the real opulence. Plenty of food, plenty of beautiful weather, beautiful residences to live. The society was so loving and caring. Everybody was so full of love. Everybody was so caring towards each other. And that atmosphere will be created by Krishna consciousness. That is why Krishna consciousness is the only hope. I don't know what the political leaders will think. They'll think that ISKCON is the enemy. They're speaking against their agenda. They're speaking against democracy. Actually, today the whole world is thinking that democracy is the only way. But we are saying it's not democracy. Democracy is actually demons have gone crazy. As it is, demons are terrible. And when they go crazy, they become even more terrible. And the governments may say that we won't give any help to ISKCON. Our response is, we don't need your help. We are depending upon Krishna. You rather pray for Krishna's help, otherwise he'll be in trouble. At the time of death, who can help you? At the time of death, no one but Krishna. The devotee of the Lord and the Lord himself can help. I am seeing the situation about the election, and they think that, well, when this leader will come, that the world situation will change. The Kali Yuga situation is not going to change. The conflict will keep on increasing, and we are seeing how terrible the situation has become. That India was divided on the basis of religion. It was divided, the Muslims got Pakistan and Hindus supposed to have got Hindustan. Hindustan, Pakistan. But today, the Muslim population is increasing so much that in a few years' time there will be more Muslims than Hindus. Then what will happen? Then Hindustan will not remain Hindustan. It will become some other stan. At least if they don't join Pakistan, there will be another Muslim country. But doesn't matter, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, India was a Muslim country. India was ruled by the Muslims. But did it harm Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement? No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement carried on. And that was a wonderful example Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, appearing at the time when India was under the Muslim rule. So this way Mahaprabhu pointed out that even if the whole country, whole of India becomes Muslim, don't worry. Nothing will affect your practicing Krishna consciousness. But at the same time, the world needs proper leaders. And when the proper leaders come to rule, then the atmosphere becomes very, very favorable, very conducive to spiritual development. That's why we need rulers like Pṛthu Maharaj. That's why the narrations of Pṛthu Maharaj is so elaborately described. And in this verse is saying that when one hears and when one speaks about Pṛthu Maharaj's glory, he also attains the same position as Pṛthu Maharaj. That means one who hears and leads his life according to the example of Pṛthu Maharaj, then he becomes qualified to become elevated to the spiritual sky. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question?
professional reciters, they glorified Pṛthu Maharaj in one chapter. So a devotee told me that a person should take a vow to cultivate at least two qualities of Pṛthu Maharaj in oneself. So, in a manner of speaking, is it like, taking oneself to be the doer and not just relying upon Krishna?
What are those two qualities?
There are many qualities. At least one should cultivate in oneself.
What two qualities?
One is secrecy, that a person, nobody will be able to know that how Pṛthu Maharaj is carrying out his activities. The second is that Pṛthu Maharaj will treat every other woman except his wife to be his mother. These are the two qualities that I choose. So if I just try to cultivate these by memorizing those shlokas and meditating on them.
Very good. If somebody can cultivate these qualities of Pṛthu Maharaj, naturally he will be elevated to an exalted position himself.
Isn't it like if I am trying to do something, I'm just not relying on Krishna to give me what he thinks is best for me?
I don't understand what your question is.
My question is, Maharaj, that if I am trying to become something, it is not simply relying on Krishna. I want to become something. I am the doer. I can achieve something. I am not just relying on Krishna. Whatever Krishna wants, he can give me.
Did Krishna say that in Bhagavad Gita? I thought in Bhagavad Gita Krishna said just the opposite. Opposite in the sense Krishna says prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha ahankara vimuratma kartaham iti mannate. It's in material nature everything is happening by guna and karma. It's only by being bewildered by his false ego one thinks I am the doer. So when you develop that attitude, what does it mean? I am the doer. Isn't it? And the second instruction is sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. So he is saying surrender unto me. So do you think that you are so great that you don't have to surrender to Krishna? So just follow what Krishna said. Radha Krishna is saying, become like a child on his mother's lap. Become like a child on his mother's lap. When the child is in his mother's lap, does he have any worry, anxiety? Simply dependent upon him. What to speak of Krishna? Even Jesus Christ said that. Those who are innocent like a child will have the right to go to the kingdom of heaven. There are quite a few questions from the Mayapur TV. Rohini Nandan Das from New Orleans. Wow, Rohini, what's the time now? It's about 12 o'clock midnight. Hare Krishna Maharaj, Vena was so sinful. Why did priest use his body to chant to produce King Pṛthu? Priests are so powerful, they could have produced King Pṛthu by their mind or wish. Second question, did Vena had any purity in him that priest charmed his hand to produce King Pṛthu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Thanks. The thing is, I don't think this has been mentioned in the scripture, but the point is, you see, to succeed as a king, he had to have the same lineage. Therefore, Pṛthu had to come through Vena's body. That's why Vena's body was used, because otherwise Pṛthu would not have any right to become the king of that kingdom. And so, second question, yeah, Vena must have some piety, otherwise how could he get a son like Pṛthu? So we have to understand that this was a part of the Lord's pastimes, Lord's arrangement. And Another thing is that Pṛthu Maharaj is a jiva, he is an empowered incarnation. Shaktavesh avatar. He is not Vishnu Tattva, he is a Jiva Tattva. Another question from Rohini Nandan, from New Orleans. Hare Krishna Maharaj, you are mentioning about Kali Yuga democracy, demon crazy. What do you think about Arvind Kejriwal, who is trying to expose all the crooks and corrupt politicians? Thanks. Well, it's very difficult to recognize these politicians. So, I will say time will tell. Let's just wait and see. How much he is talking about, how genuine it is or how pure is his intention, will be proven by time. But the main point is, whether it is Anil Kejriwal or Rahul Gandhi or Narendra Modi, unless and until they take to Krishna consciousness, there is no hope. In the age of Kali, there is no other way. They all will come and they all will go. They won't be able to do anything. Because Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama iva kevalam, Kalo nasteva, nasteva, gansteva, gatyannatha. Tribhanga Mohan Das from Pune. Hare Krishna Maharaj, Pamho, yesterday's question, how even a sincere chanter may fall prey to Maya. A sincere chanter may fall prey to Maya is because Maya's business is to test. Maya's business is to test your sincerity. And Maya will come, Maya will keep coming to us until we go back to Godhead. And Maya's taste will be there until we reach the stage of prema. So we should be prepared for Maya's taste. And with our, not only just sincerity, but with our dependence upon Krishna, that we'll be able to overcome the influence of Maya. Maya me mame vaja prapaddante, Maya me tang tarantite. That is the only hope. We can overcome Maya only by depending upon Krishna. Sampath from USA. Hare Krishna Maharaj, what if the husband is not devotee and wife is devotee, and hence due to husband not able to get initiation, will the wife in next life at least be able to get Srila Prabhupada as her Gurudev? Why do you have to wait for next life? Who knows whether we'll remember? Who knows in next life you'll get a human form? Who knows that in your next life you'll come in contact with ISKCON? Who knows you'll get your next life in 10,000 years' time? What if the next life comes after 10,000 years, after ISKCON has spread Krishna consciousness and reigned over the world for 10,000 years? Don't wait. Just become fixed up in Krishna consciousness. And as you were saying, you are asking about the wife. Like, is that your wife or somebody else's wife? So if it is your wife, if she's a good devotee and she wants to make progress in spiritual life, then you give her all the support. And if it is not your wife, and if you know the husband, then preach to him and make him Krishna conscious. Another question from Sampath. Can we chant with slippers on? Will chanting while driving wrong? Can we include it in our rounds? Yeah. With your slippers on, you can chant. With your socks on also you can chant. So there is no condition. Nam nam akari bahudha nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kala. There is no rules and regulations in chanting the holy name. Yes, while driving also you can chant, but the problem is that it is not advised, because when you are driving you should rather focus your mind in driving. That is the only problem. Otherwise there is no harm. Otherwise you are actually supposed to chant 24 hours a day. Phaneshwari Lakshmi Devi Dasi from San Diego, USA. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. What should be the devotee's duty as a citizen of a country as far as voting etc. goes? Do we just chant and be aloof from the day-to-day duties as citizens? No, try to at least try to cast your vote for the best of the lot. Maybe everyone is, relatively, whoever you think is better, going to be better. That way, be responsible and cast your vote, because it is your responsibility and right. Hare Krishna. Is there any other question here? Yes?
Maharaj, for fourth Mahārāja, we should worship Vaishnavas. So should we worship Lord Ganesha, Shiva in the name of...
Yeah. There is no harm worshipping Ganesha, Lord Shiva as a Vaishnava, not as a demigod. Right? As a demigod, they are controllers of different affairs, and generally worshipping them is mainly due to get some material benefit. So, instead of getting the material benefit, if you worship them for spiritual benefit, then worshipping them is fine. But then again, that worship shouldn't be in the same level as Krishna worship. Ganesh is actually a devotee, Lord Shiva is a devotee, Indra may not be a devotee, he is also a devotee, some sort of a devotee. Karma Mishra Bhakta, not a pure devotee. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you.